I quietly lit a cigarette and deliberately blew the butt to make it glow bright, then slowly stretched my hand out of the trench. The enemy sniper spotted the flame. A bullet shot straight in my hand, but my comrades all congratulated me one after another. I never wanted to be on this battlefield in the first place. The military law stipulated that any soldier wounded in combat could be discharged and sent home, so countless soldiers used this as an excuse to retire, to get themselves injured. Some soldiers directly grabbed the scorching hot gun barrel with their bare hands. Another veteran was much smarter. He sharpened the bullet to a point, pressed it into the bolt of his rifle, then bit down hard on his leather belt and aimed the muzzle at his own palm. Other soldiers followed suit one after another, shooting each other through the palms. We thought this would get us home for good, but after the military doctor's examination, these wounds were proven not to be inflicted by the enemy. We were hauled before a military court. The judge sentenced us all as deserters. Our commander couldn't bear to order our execution, so he drove us out the trench. The first soldier used to be a craftsman. He knew all too well the cruelty of war. Fisted the young enemy boy. He just couldn't bring himself to pull the trigger. He could only watch helplessly as his comrade executed the teenager. Overwhelmed by guilt, he stood in the middle of the battlefield, singing Marseillaise at the top of his lungs, until an enemy bullet finally silenced him. The second soldier raised a white flag right away, begging the German troops not to shoot. His comrade couldn't stand to watch such cowardice, lifted his rifle, and sent him to his grave with one single shot. Desperate to survive, the third soldier actually threw a grenade at an enemy fighter plane. He managed to damage the plane's tail fine, but was mowed down by the plane's machine gun fire in return. I was the lucky one among us, knowing I would never escape death. After being driven out of the trench, I huddled quietly by a tree until a German fighter plane finally spotted me. A bullet tore through my abdomen. Luckily, I was found by that same veteran deserter. Since my injury was severe, he slung me over his shoulder without hesitation and carried me to the field hospital. We had just finished dressing our wounds when German artillery shells rained down on the hospital. The explosion sent a nurse flying, her body slamming into the fixed pulley. The hydrogen airship slowly began to ascend. Suddenly, a shell crashed down and got stuck on the roof. Watching them drift toward each other, certain to collide, the veteran rushed into the storage room in a panic and buried himself under a pile of rubber blankets. But there was no escape for the others outside. The doors were locked tight. At that very moment, the airship collided with a stuck shell, jolting the firing pin inside it. In the next second, the hydrogen ignited. A massive fireball engulfed and destroyed the entire hospital. Yet the veteran somehow survived by miracle. I suffered a severe head injury in the blast, losing all my memories. In the end, I made my way back to my hometown and reunited with my fiancée.
The fat man looked at the pizza in his hand and noticed that the toppings had been eaten by someone. He reached out to take other people's food, but as soon as he picked up a chicken leg, it aroused dissatisfaction from the people upstairs. He told the fat man that he could only eat his own food, for that was the rule of their prison. The fat man couldn't help laughing after hearing this. His pizza had been stolen, so he wanted to eat others' food too. The man upstairs comforted him that they would find the culprit, but on the condition that the fat man didn't act impulsively. If he insisted on doing so, he would be punished by the loyalists. Seeing that the fat man insisted on eating the chicken leg, the woman quickly shared her food with him, which made him abide by the rules. The next day, they heard fighting sounds from upstairs. It was the loyalists punishing the man who had stolen the fat man's pizza. That man was extremely powerful in combat, and no one was his match. The man upstairs told them to get ready for a fight, which scared the fat man a lot. He didn't want to fight anyone. Listening to the shrill screams from upstairs, Annie hurriedly took apart the bed frame, preparing to face the enemies. Soon, the platform arrived at the 24th floor, and the man from the 21st floor fell down. The fat man couldn't help but feel scared at the sight. If he had broken the rules yesterday, this would have been his fate today. Before he could recover, he saw the woman upstairs throwing food down, but she was too late. In the next second, she was completely engulfed in flames. Annie tried to use the bedsheet to put out the fire for her, but the woman had already stopped breathing. At that moment, the platform started to move down again. They quickly pushed the food down, and the room returned to normal. Because of the barbarians' violation of the rules, all the food today was ruined, and everyone had to starve together. When night came, the man, following their rules, wrapped the charred woman in a white cloth, and then threw her into the prison pit. With a violent impact, the body was shattered into pieces. The third day came quickly. The platform descended smoothly to the 24th floor, and the fat man finally got to eat pizza. To strictly enforce the rules, the man poured out all the food that belonged to the dead woman. But on this day, the fat man couldn't help it anymore. He pretended to pour out the food, but actually ate a piece secretly. This scene was just seen by the man upstairs, but fortunately, the other party didn't expose him. That night, they all couldn't sleep, because tomorrow would be the day to change floors. When they woke up the next day, both of them were completely stunned. They had been assigned to the 180th floor, and there was almost no food on this floor.